Hello, and welcome back to Mystic Motivation, a podcast for witchy women claiming their empowerment. Today, we're going to be talking about spell work, what it actually is, how you can use it, and how it benefits you. Spell work is not just what you see in movies like Harry Potter, where you have a wand and you can cast a spell in a moment. It's nothing fantastical like that. Rather, spell work is a reclamation of your energy, of your power, and getting back in touch with symbolism and intention. So, I want to talk about how we can actually utilize the skill of spell work. Just like we reclaim the path of the witch, we see witch as a symbol of empowerment. We see witch as a woman who's sovereign, spiritually gifted, empowered, who follows the beat of her own drum. We want to reclaim spell work in the same stroke. It's taking it a layer deeper and seeing spell work as a reclamation of our energy and how we utilize it. Tapping into ourselves as the creatrix, as the actual alchemist of our own lives. Just like how women back in the day who were medicine women, shamans, healers, they were demonized for being in power. The same was done for the acts of spell work. Women in society was taught to see spell work, alchemizing your own energy, as something evil and dangerous. There's the other side of it that saw it as something woo-woo or unrealistic. You were unstable or crazy to think that you could actually alchemize energy, work with energy. And the extremes of that is people labeling it as something demonic. Why is it any time that somebody embodies self-confidence, power, relying on their inner world, having a connection to self, to the world, it's labeled as demonic? And it's a great tactic to keep people avoidant from stepping into self-empowerment. All in all, spell work, intuition, embodiment was dismissed as something like a fantasy. The truth is, a woman in power, a woman who is connected to her energy and the energy of the world, who knows her own rhythms and cycles just as she knows the seasons, can shape reality. And that's really inconvenient to a world that craves control and limitation. This is why spell work is empowerment. It's reclaiming your narrative. It's relying on yourself, not constantly looking externally for validation. Of course, in spell work, we can work with external elements if that's something that aligns in your practice, but it is something that starts from within. So let's talk a little bit about what spell work actually is. I always like to say that spell work is hands-on learning. It's no longer relying on your mind to fathom something, trying to reprogram your mind to shift your day-to-day life, the things, the energy you embody, the life that you're wanting to attract, the dreams that you want into your life. It's applying a more physical way with your body to understand the energy that you're trying to alchemize, attract, or work with. To me, I see it as mind, body, soul alignment, which I think when we have these three pillars connected, we become powerful alchemists. We don't have to rely on just our mind and overwork our mind to try to come to a preferred outcome we desire. It's creating a bridge between intention and action. Because when you're doing a spell work, just as an example, saying like right here, I have a spell work, right? If you're watching the podcast on YouTube, I have a candle, I have crystals, I have herbs surrounding the candle's engraved. It's not just the candle being lit, throwing these things together that's creating the magic, but rather the energy I'm embodying while doing so. And we'll talk more in a minute about correspondences and how correspondences can assist in the amplification of spell work. But ultimately, the foundation of spell work, the foundation of this being your empowerment, is the energy you are embodying through deep understanding while doing spell work. That's your magic, and that's where the real magic is. So that's the foundation of spell work. It's not sitting still and hoping for something to find you. Rather, it's focusing your intention and something you're physically doing to call that alignment in. I'm sure you've heard before that any sort of spiritual practice needs grounding and protection work. What that's really saying is that we're needing to create an environment, a container where our nervous system feels safe. And any sort of physical ritual is going to train our nervous system. It's helping your subconscious mind, your body, understand the symbolism of what you're doing. As I'm engraving in intentions into the candle, I'm conjuring up the emotions of whatever I'm trying to bring in. If it's protection work, extra protection, safety, boundaries, I'm wanting to call into my life. As I'm writing protection sigils, the word protection on the candle, I'm embodying peace as I'm doing so. It's really doing a physical act that's getting my body to see this is possible. This is an energy I can embody, and this is an energy I can continue to attract. Because every time I see that candle, it's embodiment through association. I'm seeing peace again. I'm seeing it, I'm feeling the energy of it, and I'm embodying it. Symbolism helps our subconscious understand intention. I don't know about you, but when I was in school, I would sit there and I would be trying to pay attention, and it's like it would just go over my head. I would check out for like 5 minutes of the teacher going on a ramble about something, and I would have no clue what they were talking about. A lot of people don't realize how much spell work and ritual can help them understand energy. Because the truth of the matter is, it's not something we're taught. And we may waver up and down in our practices trying to gather a deep understanding of what we're working with. Spell work gives us the opportunity to embody the alchemist, to be the magician with all the tools at our hand, to understand the energy through symbolism and association, through embodiment. And spellwork helps a lot with getting you to actually believe in what you do. I know at the beginning of my journey, because spirituality, witchcraft, whatever your path is, it can be difficult to really have that shift in your mind at first, right? Speaking of reprogramming your mind, you may battle between your old self and your new self. And so it's important to keep this in mind when you're in a witchcraft journey. Maybe you're a beginner witch, or maybe you're just trying to re-spark your passion for witchcraft here. Whatever your case is, it's remembering that spell work gives you something physical to understand. It reframes magic as somatic and not imagination, not imaginary. Because the truth of the matter is, if you're engraving a candle for peace and you're putting things that represent peace around it, lavender, and that's making you feel peaceful, that's not your imagination. That's hands on learning that is getting you to tap into a frequency that you desire. And that's what magic is. So we've laid a good foundation here talking about how, all in all, spell work is you tapping into your inner magic, your inner energy, to work with it hands-on to have a better understanding. But the next level of that is how correspondences, the frequency, the energy, the symbolism of the tools you use can amplify your spells. Because think of it this way. You are a living, breathing entity. It's easy to look at another human, see the divine in them, see that they're alive. Same with nature, same with plants, same with animals. But we oftentimes forget and discredit that everything is divine. If it exists within this universe, it holds purpose, it holds divinity, it holds energy, it holds a unique frequency. So when we're incorporating correspondences into our spells, it's not random, and we're not fully just infusing our energy into it. There's already an energy there. Colors, herbs, crystals, candles, whatever you're using, they all carry a meaning. And you can explore this intuitively. If you've ever held a live, thriving rose in your hand, you feel the live petals, you feel how soft it is, you feel its vibrancy. When you really tune in, you can feel such a soft, graceful energy coming from the rose, but the longer you sit with it, you feel its strong roots as well. You feel that it's not only just a delicate flower, but it also had to go through a hard journey to get to that blossoming. There is such a duality to roses. You can feel the strength in it, but you can also feel the beauty. That is an energy that roses hold. So if you're applying that to you crafting a spell where you're rising, you're leveling up, you're empowering yourself, that energy is going to amplify your own energy and desire. The two coming together blend beautifully to attract and help you embody the energy of what you desire. We can even look at this another way. Speaking of energy and frequencies, when you're desiring peace and you go to a sound bath meditation, there's no doubt the moment you lay down and you allow yourself to fully be submersed into sound, you're going to feel different. Your nervous system is going to slow down. You're going to feel more at peace. Maybe things that are cluttered in your mind finally organize themselves out a little bit. Frequency holds power. And it doesn't have to be something as obvious as singing bowls that are creating a sound for something to have a frequency. So this is where the power of correspondences come into our spell work. And this is where you get to intuitively feel what works for you. I am a big believer in the most powerful spell work being your own energy aligning with something that you have either an emotional or a deep understanding of, right? Just like the same way I said that, a rose, I can truly feel its soft beauty at the same time that I feel its power and phoenix rising energy. So if I'm working with a rose because I have that deep understanding of it, I can feel that energy coming from it. It's going to benefit me in my practices. Another person might not have as much as a connection or natural connection to a rose, but maybe they deeply connect with the moon. The moon makes them feel emotional, or maybe it's just the seasons. They always like really align with the seasons. Your spell work doesn't always have to be something like hands-on in that way. It could also be manifesting with the moon, manifesting with the seasons. So, little side note there, we're starting simple with physical spell work, hands-on learning, but just know that it's whatever works for you. You can work with the seasons, you can work with the moon and have the same amplification of energy through your deep connection, relation, and understanding of whatever you're working with. Like I said at the beginning, you can still work with things outside of you, right? If you are somebody that works with spirit guides, ancestors, deities, you work with nature, you work with the moon, you work with the sun, the stars. It's the same as hands-on learning spell work, working with roses, candles, crystals, herbs. It's the energy of that deity, the energy of that correspondence that's coming together with yours, a balancing of the scales to create an intention or to attract an energy you desire. So witchcraft is really just aligning yourself with energy that already exists and letting it work for you, seeing yourself in relation to that energy. At the end of the day, we are all the same thing. We all come from the same source. We are all in the same universe. Witchcraft lets us stop seeing separation between energies and to start seeing everything as an opportunity for collaboration and co-creating. Spellwork, at the end of the day, with this knowledge, is accessible to everyone. It's not truly limited to witchcraft, but witchcraft deeply honors what it is. Witchcraft gives explanation to what most people are already doing. It's the same as somebody wanting to take their body to the gym and use the treadmill to work out their body to get it more toned. That's a spell. It's aligning yourself with something else to get to a desired outcome. Our energy is no different than something as visible and as physical as that. So at the end of the day, when you're finding your place within spellwork, or maybe you're just reigniting your passion, your understanding for it, it's remembering that you are the magic. Tools don't create the magic, you do. Even when the tools have a frequency and an energy to itself, the most important piece is you, because it's your life, your perception, your reality. And it's your relationship to whatever you're desiring or whatever you're calling in or whatever you're working with that is going to be the creatrix of that thing, that desire coming to fruition. It's allowing yourself to no longer see your desires as fantasy, no more seeing intention as wishful thinking, but instead seeing it as a map and a direction. Spellwork is just a focused relationship with energy. I want to amplify that again. It's a relationship. It's something to nurture, to work with, to keep showing up to. And when you nurture a relationship and you create a strong relational foundation, right? You're creating meaning, you're creating a habit of showing up. It's going to show up for you too. So don't give up when you do a spell work and you don't see immediate results, because the best results are habits made frequently in devotion to your practice. That's where we see results, because we're not commanding the universe to get something we want. We're collaborating with it, and we're finally connecting to nature, all that is deeper than our society portrays it worth. With this knowledge, when we begin to see it this way, we reclaim what was once demonized for witches. We see that witches were never dangerous because of magic. Witches were dangerous because they were trusted, because they trusted themselves and they trusted something greater than them without putting a limitation on that greatness. There's an intimidation factor with witches who claim this power to some, because it is power. And those with an ego, an inflated ego, have learned that power comes with a price. While a witch who is empowered through soul comes into alignment with the universe. To embrace witchhood as a woman is to place yourself as a creatrix, not just biologically, but energetically. Every single one of us is a part of this universe that is a master creator, a master creatrix. Everything around us is creation. So why don't we see ourselves as creatives? Witchcraft gives us a permission to remember that and to embody that. Spellwork allows you to tap into that divinity, to show up to your craft with devotion, not performance. When you reclaim a spellwork, when you reclaim your empowerment, you're no longer an individual waiting for permission or any sort of external confirmation. You start seeing yourself as the place where power begins. So remember that spellwork is not about control, it's a relationship. It's hands-on learning. It's reclaiming your power. It's remembering that you're not separate from the energy that you work with. You are a part of it. If this episode stirred some sort of curiosity within you, some sort of spark of inspiration, a drive to reclaim your power, sit with that, feel into that, and let it guide you forward. Because that spark, that remembrance is your magic. A reminder that you're not waiting for magic. You're already standing in it. Thank you for being here, witches, and be sure to subscribe to this podcast so you can stay up to date on new episodes. Let me know in the comments what you would like for me to talk about next. And if you have a desire, a calling to take your practice even deeper, I have an online coven, the Scarlet Rose Coven, where we gather every month to do spell work, self-care, and sacred practices. I'll put more information in the caption down below. You can also learn more at the link in my bio. Happy spellcasting and much love.